This week in Washington, a political storm is gathering force, one that cuts to the heart of American priorities, power, and the price of war. At the center of it all stands a rising voice in Congress, unafraid to challenge the status quo. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Her message is blunt, her tone unapologetic, and her question echoes far beyond Capitol Hill. How can we afford billions for war, but not enough to feed our own people? Scene 1, setting the stage. The U.S. government's latest $3 billion military push has ignited fierce debate across the nation. Officials argue the funding is necessary, strategic, even urgent amid growing global tensions. But critics say this is just another chapter in a long history of unchecked military spending. And then came Crockett, standing before cameras, microphones clustered tightly around her. She didn't mince words. Her voice cut through the noise of political talking points. This isn't just about foreign policy, she said. This is about priorities. This is about who we are as a nation. Scene 2, the numbers behind the firestorm. $3 billion. It's a number so large it almost loses meaning until it's broken down. That amount could fund food programs, rebuild infrastructure, expand healthcare access, or support struggling communities across America, but instead, it's being directed toward military operations abroad. For many lawmakers, that's business as usual. For Crockett, it's a red line. We've normalized this, she declared. We've made it routine to write blank checks for war while telling Americans there's no money for basic needs. Scene 3, Crockett's rise as a political force. Jasmine Crockett is no stranger to confrontation. Known for her sharp rhetoric and fearless questioning, she has quickly become one of the most outspoken voices in Congress. But this moment feels different. This isn't just another partisan clash. It's a broader challenge to the entire system. Her speech wasn't just aimed at one party or one administration. It was aimed at decades of policy decisions that, in her view, have placed military interests above human needs. Scene 4, inside the Capitol. Tensions rise behind closed doors. Tensions are boiling over. Some lawmakers defend the spending, citing national security threats and geopolitical realities. They argue that failing to act could weaken America's global position, but Crockett isn't convinced. National security isn't just about weapons, she fired back during a heated exchange. It's about whether your citizens are secure, whether they can eat, whether they can live with dignity. Her remarks reportedly drew both applause and backlash within the chamber. Scene 5, a nation divided outside Washington. The reaction has been swift and divided. Supporters are rallying behind Crockett, praising her for saying what many have long believed. Social media is flooded with clips of her speech, captions calling her fearless, real, and necessary. Critics, however, accuse her of oversimplifying a complex issue. They argue that defense spending is essential in an increasingly unstable world, but even among her critics, one thing is clear. Crockett has forced the conversation into the spotlight. Scene 6, the human cost of war. In her most powerful moment, Crockett shifted the focus away from numbers and politics and onto people. Every dollar we spend on war is a choice, she said. A choice not to spend it somewhere else. She spoke of families struggling to afford groceries, of children going to bed hungry, of communities still waiting for investment and opportunity. These aren't abstract problems, she continued. These are real lives, real pain. It was a stark reminder that behind every budget decision lies a human consequence. Scene 7, the bigger picture. This debate isn't new. For decades, the U.S. has grappled with the balance between military strength and domestic investment. But moments like this, moments of crisis and controversy, bring that tension into sharp focus. Crockett's argument taps into a growing sentiment that the current balance may be deeply out of alignment, and she's not alone. Across the political spectrum, voices are beginning to question whether America's priorities truly reflect its values. Scene 8, a defining moment for Jasmine Crockett. This could be a defining moment in her political career. Her willingness to challenge powerful institutions, and to do so publicly has positioned her as a key figure in this unfolding debate, but it also comes with risks. Standing against entrenched systems is never easy, and in Washington, it often comes with consequences. Still, Crockett appears undeterred. If speaking the truth is controversial, she said, then maybe it's time we get comfortable with controversy. Scene 9. What happens next? As the $3 billion proposal moves forward, the battle is far from over. Debates will continue, votes will be cast, and the outcome will shape not just policy, but perception of what America stands for in this moment. Will the funding pass without significant changes? Or will voices like Crockett's force a reconsideration? That remains to be seen. Closing scene. Reflection. In the end, this isn't just a story about money, it's a story about values, about choices, about the kind of nation America wants to be, and thanks to Jasmine Crockett, it's a conversation that can no longer be ignored. As the cameras fade and the headlines evolve, one question lingers. In a world of limited resources, what truly matters most?